Hello everybody, thanks for joining me once again. Exeter Rider here, and this week you join me on the roundabout, just about to pull off up towards Exeter Airport, just off to see another job. And last week I left it as a bit of an open-ender actually. I was on about the transitions, and it's been going on for a little while now actually. I've been thinking about this, because I've made a few transitions actually. And in many ways the channel is changing quite a lot at the moment, and things are going on in the background. And well, for the first transition, 3, 2, 1. No, not that. No, not that either. No, forget that. No, definitely not. Where did that come from? That is not me. That was somebody else, I promise you. That was not me. 3, 2, 1, boom. Is that nicer for you to look at? So, basically, this is a transition which I've been thinking of doing for a while, and the reason I haven't before now is probably silly reasons really, but I always felt that if I had a decent camera, then when I do the test rides, you don't really get the feel of the bike itself. You know, I want to show that it's quite the suspension is stiff on a bike, and my Ghost Drift, which is an excellent camera by the way, and I will be talking about that more in a minute. It was very good, but unfortunately it's just a bit behind the times now, and I needed to catch up with things and start shooting in 4K. So as you can see, it's got great stabilization. This is the DJI Osmo action camera, and the reason I chose this one instead of the GoPro 7, 8 or whatever, they seem bringing out a 9 actually. I believe that's coming out in a couple months. It's just because of the front screen. It's got a great looking front screen which shows you what you're actually shooting, and for stuff which I've got coming up, it's going to be very handy to have that, because then I can put the camera somewhere and I can actually see if I'm in shot, because normally it's very easy to do a walk round of a bike and you cut your head off, whereas with this I can see that I'm going to be in shot, so that's fantastic. It's caused me 2 days of sticking forks in my eyes and anguish, because I can't seem to get the audio right. With my old Drift camera, it was just a plug and go, and it worked very well. Whereas with this one, it took me ages to get the audio to even an acceptable standard, and even now I'm not happy with it. But I spent so much time on it trying to get it right, and putting the microphone, this car passed, putting the microphone in different areas and behind my ear and in the top of my lid, but anyway, what I've done is I've settled to put it down by my chin now, and I've got something called a dead cat on it, which is one of those the fluffy things that you find on microphones that you see on telly. And what that does, it just drowns out a bit of the echo that's in my helmet, and it just makes it sound better. Basically, loses a bit of wind noise. I'm still not happy with it, and I've had to train myself now to talk like I don't normally talk. And what I mean by that is that normally, you know, I want to talk at this level, but at this level it gets to it shakes around a bit, and the voice becomes just horrible. So it might be a microphone problem that I've got. This is the Drift microphone that I'm using, which works really well. You know, if I switch over to the other camera quickly, and you can see that it sounds much better, even though I'm talking the way I want to talk now. But it's just not working, and switch back to the other camera now. But anyway, that's an ongoing issue, and I just have to train myself to speak in a different way on camera. technology, eh? Oh, dear. So, I hope you like it. I'm kind of doing it for your sake. It's this isn't going to benefit me really. Obviously it'll benefit the channel, which does benefit me, but I just wanted to give you a bit more. It's just updates things a bit, makes it a bit nicer. But for me, it's quadrupled my workload, because my old Ghost Drift, the battery lasted between 4 and 5 hours, so I could literally push record, and on a test ride I could just forget about it. I could do multiple takes. For example, if I was doing talking about the suspension and I kept messing up my words, it does happen sometimes, as you can probably tell. If I was talking about the suspension, then I could do multiple takes on it without worrying about the battery life. Whereas with my new camera, the Osmo, the batteries last about 40 to 50, well, about 50 minutes, I would say, shooting at 2.7 or 4K, which isn't very long. That time does go very quickly when you're doing a test ride or a review. It's just something that I've got to get used to, and luckily I am at the point now where I know I'm a bit more fluent with filming now, and what I need to do to make that work. So yeah, so that's that. And also uploading the files are 4 times larger than what the old Ghost was giving me. Basically with the Ghost I was filming in 1080p, and because the files are now in 4K, for example, the files are massive to put on my computer, so it slows everything down. But I think you agree, and I'm looking at it now thinking it's so much better, the actual footage now. It's stabilisation on the Osmo is really good. There's no shaking around like I get on the other camera, and you don't get that fisheye look either that you get on the Ghost. This isn't a full review of my Osmo, it's just what it's like for motovlogging, and for that it seems really good so far. It's early days, but like I say, I love the front facing screen. I love that the actual lens is detachable, so if you scratch a lens on a GoPro, then you have to replace the whole unit, so that's 400 and 500 quid, isn't it? Whereas with this one, you just unscrew it, £15, and you got a new setup. So how much did I pay for this Osmo? Well, I think it was around £330, and that was with extra batteries as well. I got it from Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description, and it's the cheapest one, or cheapest setup that I found. So if you're looking at getting one of these, then just click the link below. Obviously I get a bit of help from it as well. They send me a few pennies, but yeah, it's a good one to go for. I think it is better than the GoPro 7 and 8, purely because of the front facing screen and the other things that I mentioned. But yeah, for £330 it's not a bad price at all. So changing over from the Ghost, I would still highly recommend the Ghost X. It's the Drift Ghost X, I must get that straight. It's not the 4K one I had. Apparently they've had a lot of problems with that, with the software and things like that. So I would steer clear of the Drift Ghost 4K. But for the Drift Ghost X, it is a very, very good camera. It's great for first time users. If you haven't got much experience filming on a bike, then I highly recommend it. It's very, very good. The reasons it's good is, like I say, firstly, the battery life is very good. It fits nicely and nice and tight against your helmet, and also it's got the very good tag feature. And what that does is, if you're riding along, you can start the camera up, and if you saw something happen now, like there's a car crash or something like that, I can click the record button and it will record 2 minutes before the accident and 2 minutes after. So, you know, you're not constantly recording and have to sift through the footage to get to that accident. It's just literally 2 minutes before, 2 minutes after you push that button. So it's good stuff. Very quiet at Exeter Airport at the moment. Flybe's just gone down the pluggo. I think they've been taken over now. Yeah, so it's a very good camera still. I still highly recommend it for a newbie, and I think they're only about £130. Again, the link is down in the description if you want that. I sometimes update the descriptions to keep them relevant and up to date with the latest best prices. But as I say, this one here, if you want the Osmo, then click the link below and you get the extra batteries, the charger, the camera itself, and a few other gizmos, some stick-on bits. One thing I didn't know when I first got it was that mounting it was going to be such a pain in the ass. I mean, basically it's very hard. First of all, I put it on the back of the helmet, which had the side view, which I'll show you now. This is what it looks like on the side view, which is okay, it's alright. But what I didn't like is stabilisation. You saw my head move, but the bike wasn't, so it looks a bit odd. That's a nice old bike, which looked wrong. It just didn't look right at all. So yeah, so I decided to mount it on the chin. Again, huge amount of trial and error with the Ghost Drift. I just had to set it up. I put it up, and you can connect it to your phone so you can see what it's looking at. Sat on the bike, job done. 5 minutes it took me to set up that one, whereas this one took me probably a day just to get the mounting right and where I wanted it, and not looking too far down, looking too far up. So right, okay. I love planes. I know nothing about them, but I love them. I love taking off and landing. Yeah, so yeah, it was a right old pain to set up. And if you're thinking of doing motovlogging and you go straight to the top and get one of these Osmos, and you still got a normal day job, you know, 9 till 5, then it makes it very difficult when you got to do all these different things, you know, set the cameras up and the mics and the audio. I mean, I was lucky, I had a few days off, I'm self-employed, so I could do it. But yeah, it's hard work. If you're employed, then take a week off and sort it out, which normally is the last thing you want to do, isn't it, if you're on holiday? So yeah, I'm very happy. Overall, it's going to be a good thing for the channel having this camera. But yeah, it's got its cons as well, but not very many. And compared to the GoPro, again, they got the GoPro 9 coming out shortly, which is going to be good. I have no doubt about that. And apparently it does 8K, which is absolutely pointless. And most of you will know, who know anything about this sort of thing, that when you upload it to YouTube, they normally downgrade it down to 1080p anyway, so shooting in 4K is pointless. So at the moment I've got this one set to 2.7K and 60 frames per second. It does a good job. It's nice to have something a bit different, I think. You know, everybody seems to have GoPros, but I like to be a little bit different, a little bit up to date. And it's going to be cheaper than the GoPro, I would imagine. I'll see what the GoPro 9 comes out at. But with this other camera I've got, my Drift, I'm probably going to mount that on the screen somewhere, or looking back at me. I'll see how I get on with that. For me, watching other vloggers, it don't really bother me looking back at the person. Can you tell me, actually, I'll be interested in your comments whether you like that the rider shot, looking back at the rider as he's talking and cutting back and forward to the rider. You let me know, I'd be interested. If it's something that you're really not bothered about, then I'll leave it, but it can probably have its advantages. The downside to all these cameras, or sorry, should I say the Drift and the Osmos, is that they need a separate adapter. The one on the GoPro is massive, it's like a brick, you know, everyone calls it a brick, for the sound, but with the Osmo it is a lot smaller. But the only thing is that it's not waterproof. So here it is starting to rain now. I'm going to have to start wrapping this up because I can't ride with this in the rain, whereas the Drift Ghost I can. It's much more susceptible to a bit of light rain, so that's something I have to be a bit careful of. But I'm going to keep the Drift on my helmet anyway, because that's going to be useful for the observation posts that I do, and just in general, really, you know, for the tagging feature, it's going to be great. If I see anything out and about, it's not like this one. I've got, you know, limited battery life and all that. But so you'll still see the old style of filming. But I'm certainly going to move over to this one for the reviews and the vlogs and a few other bits and bobs. So there you go, that's just my view on a few changes that I've made. But hopefully you like the footage. It's going to be much nicer to look at, isn't it? And yeah, it's going to be much better. Right, I guess I'll leave you in peace. I'm going to have to turn this off now because it's blooming raining. That's a bit strange. Normally it starts raining, I can keep on filming, but I don't want to waste my lose my adapter. The adapter, by the way, is £40 for this Osmo. And again, this makes me wonder, why can't they build these things in? I mean, it's an action camera, you know? People are going to put them on a helmet. They're going to have an external mic. But they just don't seem to build action cameras for motovloggers. Just seems to be lacking behind the times a bit on that one, and you would have thought that that would be one of their biggest markets, really, motovloggers. And I've got a few mates who are into mountain biking and riding on the rough stuff. But yeah, they just don't seem to haven't got that quite sorted yet, have they? Whether it's the mounts or the actual running or the microphones. Right guys, so anyway, thank you very much for watching. And I hope that anyone who's considering getting a camera, this gives you a bit of help. Do I recommend the Osmo? Yes, but it is a pain in the ass to set up, and the audio I just cannot get right yet, so maybe I'll try a different microphone, whatever. Links are in the description for the Drift Ghost and the Osmo. They are the best prices that I've found around, so and it's on Amazon as well, so you should get pretty quick delivery on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.